Welcome back to the Psychic Portal podcast. Last episode, I said trusting yourself doesn't always make life easier. It makes it truer. There's a big difference there, and I want to get into it. There's this idea that once you start trusting yourself, everything gets lighter, smoother, like you flip a switch and life just flows. That's not really what happens, at least not at first. Well, maybe not ever in the way that most people picture it, but what happens instead is something truer, and truer is not always comfortable. Here's what I've come to understand, both in my own life and what I witness with clients over and over again. When you start actually trusting what you know, not what's easiest to believe, not what everyone around you wants to hear, but what you actually know, you start living in more integrity with yourself. And integrity is a beautiful thing, but integrity also asks something of you. It asks you to stop pretending. So if there's a relationship that's been quietly not working, trusting yourself doesn't let you keep unseeing that anymore. If there's a career that's comfortable but not really aligned, trusting yourself doesn't let you keep calling it fine. That's what I mean when I say truer. You lose the ability to look away from what you already know. That's not a small thing. That's actually one of the harder parts of this work. I want to share with you something that may be difficult to hear right now, but it's the truth. When you start trusting yourself, you might grieve. You might grieve the version of you that needed to ask everyone else first. You might grieve relationships that were built around you not fully trusting your own knowing. Because some relationships, some dynamics, they work a certain way because one person is looking for reassurance and the other one is giving it. And when you stop needing that reassurance, the dynamic shifts. And not everyone around you is going to love that. I've seen this with clients. There are more people in their lives who, even unconsciously, have benefited from them staying unsure. Someone else got to feel needed, or feel right, or feel in control because you weren't fully trusting yourself yet. And when that starts to shift, when you stop looking outside yourself for the answers, that dynamic doesn't just quietly adjust. Sometimes it creates a lot of friction. Sometimes it creates real grief, even when the change itself is good and right and aligned. I don't say this to scare you. I say this because I think you deserve to know the full picture. I want to take you back to what we talked about last episode about discernment. We discussed that guidance comes in, you feel it in your body, you learn to recognize your own yes or your own no. Here's what happens next. That muscle doesn't stop building once you learn it. It keeps sharpening. The more you actually use it, the more you check in with your body, the more you practice telling the difference between what's true and what's just familiar, the quieter the noise gets and the louder your own signal gets. I always tell people it gets less jarring over time because in the beginning, your own knowing can feel almost startling because you're not used to hearing it clearly. But the more you trust it, the more it starts to feel like exactly what it is, just you talking to you. Guidance, then discernment, then choice. That was the model that I spoke about last episode. And once you're actually trusting yourself, that third step of choice, it carries more weight. Now you're not waiting on a sign to make the decision for you. You're not looking for the reading to hand you a map. You're standing in front of the mirror, seeing clearly and choosing anyway. That's real ownership. And I think that's what people are actually afraid of when they say they want to, quote unquote, trust themselves more. It's not the trusting part that I think scares them. I think it's actually the choosing. Because once you know, and once you trust what you know, there's no one left to hand the responsibility to. It's completely yours. And that can feel like a lot. And it's also, I believe, one of the most powerful things you'll ever build with yourself. So if anything came up for you while listening to this, any grief, any fear about what trusting yourself might actually cost you, any resistance to the weight of choosing, I just want you to know that it's real and you're not doing this wrong. I felt that too more than once, actually, in some of the bigger turning points of my life. So I'm going to invite you just to take a deep breath with me. and letting go. If you find yourself coming back into that old pattern of looking for reassurance, wanting someone else to hand you the map, that's okay too. This muscle builds slowly, and it's important for us to be patient with ourselves. Next time, we're going to talk about what happens once you're actually living this way, trusting yourself, choosing yourself, and where this path is actually leading you. It's not just about the trusting. It's about remembering why you're even here. I just want to sincerely thank you for stepping through the psychic portal with me today. This has been so amazing. And if you'd like to stay connected with me, you have so many options. Visit my website at thepsychicportal.org. On that website, you can book a reading with me, explore spiritual coaching, you can join our sisterhood, attend a retreat, look up any of the upcoming events that you would like to come to, and you'll find the links in my show notes to my website. You can also find me on social media at thepsychicportal4, like the number 4. And I just want to say, if anything resonated with you today, please feel free to leave a review, leave a comment, like, subscribe, share this with a dear friend that needs to hear this message. And as we close, my wish for you is always the same. May you always trust your inner knowing. May you have the courage to follow what is true for you. And remember that your wisdom lives within your heart. Until next time, my angel, keep shining. I love you. Bye.